In order for me to reach my 1 year goal, this is where I'm finding myself and the things that I've noticed along the way. Every time I've gone through this process of reaching a meaningful goal that would help me get my life to where I want it to be. So again, a year from now, I'm not where I'm finding myself right now. And so after doing something like a 7 day meditation challenge or a 28-day momentum challenge, like the one in soul work, for instance. Uh, I refer to this next step as essentially the sprint. It's a 3 month sprint where all of the focus and energy goes into doing what it takes. So at least by the end of that 3 months, I'm able to set the foundation so then I can start building. So again, a year from now, I don't find myself where I am right now. And so if we look at a few examples, so and I'll finish with what ends up happening after going through something like a 28-day momentum challenge, for instance. So I remember a few years back around 2021, I made the bold decision to move from one city to another. Now, at the time, I was living in Edmonton, Canada, and because I felt that for some reason, there was just a dead end there, regardless of what it is that I did, I decided that it was time for a move, and I had to move to a different city. A big part of that was, again, spending time with myself, really paying attention to what I was hearing, and the recurring theme was that the next step, the next chapter was elsewhere. So I ended up looking for that next place to go live to, and settled on Ottawa, Canada. And again, there was a bold decision that took place at that moment because number one, I had to make the decision that it would happen, and then I had to make the simple decision that okay, I would commit to that. So I ended up booking a one-way ticket, and at the time, I remember I didn't even have a place to live and was still, in the process of, making sure that I could at least have a job that could help sustain me. So essentially, when I got to Ottawa, I had 3 months, including all the savings that I had. I only had 3 months to make it work. So there was a great sense of urgency that something needed to happen, or as the mindset I put myself in was that, well, if it doesn't work out, I would be homeless essentially. So imagine the kind of pressure that I put on myself. And at the time, I didn't realize that doing this was, I guess, a thing. I just had no other choice. So I gave myself 3 months to make things happen. And during those 3 months, it was a necessary sacrifice because as I had to put myself in a place where I did what was necessary, I had to make that my sole priority and shut off everything else. So I didn't do anything during that time. My only focus was to be able to land that one job that could at least help me level up, and that was it. So day and night, this is what I did. And that was again after really following what I was hearing inside that this is where I needed to be, and really trusting that okay, things would work out one way or another, but at least I pursued the path and I put in the effort for that. So now, thinking of where I am now, and again going through going through the challenges that I mentioned, there's something interesting that happens after going through those challenges, and it's a place where it feels like there is that alignment. The alignment is there. The path is very clear as to what it is that I must do, what it is that I must pursue. And so the one thing that I remember from the past to avoid is being in a place where it feels internally, it feels so good to feel that kind of alignment, that clarity in terms of the path, that feeling like I put in the work to do the check-ins, connect with myself, my soul, my spirit, and out of that, feel that even my soul, my spirit is saying, "Hey, now you got this. You know what to do. Now go do it." And so I know that there can be a temptation to stay in that feel good space because it feels amazing. Again, all the alignment is there, and getting that reassurance, that message that's reassuring time and time again from, my soul, my spirit, saying, "Hey, you're good. You know what to do. We're on the right path. Great." And so, what's really important, what I find for me, what I realize is that once I am at that stage, the next key thing is the implementation, the execution, and what I refer to as the 3 month sprint. And so, with all the goals that we have, the same way that when I had to move from one city to the next, the goal was very specific. I had to move to a new city. I had to make sure I had this one job so I would not end up homeless. It was very specific, singular. And so now the idea is the same. We are in the 3 month sprint phase. And so the goal has to be very specific as to where we want to find ourselves a year from now, where I want to find myself a year from now. And so it has to be specific in terms of, if it is an income goal, that has to be put on paper and has to be, again, clear. And naturally, especially when it comes to an income goal, what has to be chosen is a vehicle that can accommodate and support that goal. So one of the key things that we have to do in the process, that I always do, is when that happens, I make sure that the vehicle I'm going to use is going to help me reach that goal, especially when I also factor in the kind of lifestyle that I want to have while being true to myself. And so as I go through this initial research, if whatever vehicle I choose is not going to offer me those items, whether it's the income level or the lifestyle that would come along with it, then it's obvious that this is not it. So I have to keep on searching. So that's the first thing that I always look at. The next thing is, once all of that is established, what I found is, whether it's when I had to move from one city to the next, where I had to be really good at this one skill that would, well, help me be more stable and also increase my income, I had to determine what is the one skill that I need to focus on that would help me level up. And so let's say we find that vehicle. The next thing is determine, okay, well, what is the one skill that has to be developed now so I can reap the rewards later and accelerate my ability to, well, take my life, my lifestyle, my desires to that next level. And so that brings me to another story where around 2021, 2022, where COVID was happening, well, there was a lot of disruption happening in the space that I was in. Well, actually, not even the space, in the job market and also the online space. And one of the things that I realized I had to focus on in terms of finding that skill that would help me navigate those waters. At the time, it was the high ticket, sales uh, skill, and so I ended up finding that, realizing that, okay, that would really make a difference, and it did for the next 5 years or so. 4 or 5 years, it really made a difference to have that skill and separate myself from, well, the competition whenever I would apply for roles. And I'm fine. And so at that time, when I knew that that was a skill, I remember it was a good 3 to 6 months for me to not only learn that particular skill, but develop my ability to be really good at it. And it took the sacrifice to just focus on that and really not do anything else. So my case, it was, I'll say, an extreme situation, but that's how it worked out for me. And I'm finding that now I'm also again in a place where, because I'm looking to level up, and at this time, well, with AI coming into the picture, that's another skill that I'm finding I have to make sure that I level up on, to see how I can integrate that into what I want to do in order for me to reach the goals that I have in mind, including the lifestyle that I have in mind, that I want to be able to continue achieving. So when it comes to that, again, I'm finding myself in that 3 month sprint again, because I know the difference it is going to make in my ability to reach my goals, my 1 year goal. So it's a 3 month sprint where not only it's about learning everything that I can learn around that, around automation as well, and from that place, it's about, again, determining that focusing on these 3 months, by the end of the 3 months, that is going to set the foundation that is going to help me, get to that next level and really enjoy, everything that I want to enjoy a year from now. So the recurring theme is the 3 month sprint. There has to be the right choice of the vehicle at the onset. There has to be the right choice of that skill. We can refer to that as that high income skill, and also again remembering to not be stuck in that feel good area when we feel that internally there's the alignment, we know the path, and it just feels amazing. Momentum has to happen. So that's what I've realized so far, and I'm going through. And naturally, it's not easy because, well, some choices have to be made, some sacrifices have to be made, but it's necessary for the time being. So it's a 3 month sprint. And so, as I'm saying all of that, I've shared a few things. So I'm very interested in hearing if any of that resonates for one. Also, well, in order for you to reach your 1 year goal, what is it that you feel, if you could for the next 3 months, that sprint, what it is that you would need to focus on, what it is that you would need to sacrifice. Because at the end of the day, if you're not willing to make the needed sacrifices for the goals that we've set for ourselves, well, then it brings up another question, which is, well, do we want it bad enough? And if the answer is no, then it's obvious what it is that we should no longer be doing. But if the answer is yes, then oh, things really get exciting, and then we know what it is that we must do to be able to pursue that. Now, for the 3 months, the sprint, it can definitely be a lonely journey, because I remember I've done that in the past, and so we have an opportunity here where we can support each other during the 3 month sprint as well. For one, to not feel alone on that journey, that stage. The next thing is it's a great opportunity to get the needed support to know what to focus on, what are the things that we should let go of, ask for help in terms of where we can find any particular type of information maybe, or the people that can help us get to that place. Because at the end of the day, this is what this community is about. It's about that support, that engagement. So that's what I'm thinking of. So let me know. Do you feel like to have this type of 3 month sprint support would be necessary? If this is something that you're doing yourself, do you feel like that would add to join something like that so you don't feel alone, and for you to get to that place where you can, by the end of the 3 months, say that okay, your foundation is there, and that is going to help you, reach your 1 year goal even better. So this is where I'm at right now. I'm in that 3 month sprint, day in and day out. I have my non-negotiables that I must do, and I have the recaps to evaluate everything that I've done. Let's say in the past week or 2 weeks, and I'll also make the adjustments along the way. But again, that focus is there. So let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if any of what I mentioned resonates with you, and also if you have some ideas. Let me know. We'll see what it is that we can work on as well. So this is what I wanted to share with you as I'm finding myself at that stage after completing, the 7-day meditation challenge, the 28-day momentum challenge, and yeah, and things have been working out already in terms of some of the results that I was looking to get during the 3 months, but it's just the beginning, and so I have to keep on going to make sure that I'm able to again build that foundation. So at the end of the 3 months, I can feel really happy about where I'm taking this, so I can reach my 1 year goal. So let me know. I'll talk to you soon. And yeah, just keep at it. Bye bye.